My people, this one way day happened now. It shocked many Nigerians and even those supporting Biafra movement. The news everywhere now is about Finland commending the Nigerian government after the 6-year prison sentence given to Simon Ekpa. Yes, the same Simon Ekpa, the self-acclaimed Biafra agitator way don caused plenty talk for Nigeria and outside. Now, the thing way make people emotional and talking all over social media. Especially people way they support Biafra. B say they feel sad. Many of them are not just sad because Simon Ekpa is in prison, but because of the way Finland reacted. You know, for a long time, Simon Ekpa has been living in Finland, and that's where he's been broadcasting most of his messages about Biafra and sit-at-home orders. So when Finland commended Nigeria for the 6-year sentence, a lot of his supporters felt like Finland betrayed him. Before we go deeper, please my people, if you are watching this video right now, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to this channel. It helps the news spread and allows more people to understand what's really going on. Now let's continue. The case of Simon Ekpa didn't just start today. For years now, he has been one of the loudest voices calling for the separation of Biafra from Nigeria. Many people who support him see him as a freedom fighter, while others, especially the Nigerian government, see him differently. They see him as someone whose activities online and offline have caused unrest and security tension in the southeast region of Nigeria. Now, when the Finland court gave him 6 years for terrorism-related offenses, it became a major story. According to the reports, part of the reason for his sentencing had to do with inciting violence, spreading false information, and organizing actions that led to insecurity. But what really caught people's attention was when Finland turned around and commended the Nigerian government for cooperating on security matters. That one pained many Biafrans because they felt Finland should have supported him as their citizen. And that's where the emotional part of the story starts. Many Biafra supporters are now online expressing anger, disappointment, and sadness. Some are saying, how can Finland do this to their own citizen? While others believe it's time for everyone to rethink how they follow people online. Because sometimes, the people shouting freedom from outside the country don't fully understand the real consequences that their messages have on those living inside Nigeria. Please, if you're watching, hit that like button and subscribe. Let's keep this discussion real and mature. Now, this situation is bigger than Simon Ekpa alone. It opens up a lot of questions. For example, how much influence do online activists really have on the lives of people at home? When someone in another country tells people to sit at home or protest, who really bears the consequences? If we look closely, in the past few years, the sit-at-home orders in the southeast have affected businesses, students, and even innocent people. Some people have lost their jobs, schools have closed down on Mondays, and it has affected the economy of that region. So, when the Finland government finally saw the link between his activities and those outcomes, they acted according to their own law. Another thing we must understand is that Finland, like many European countries, takes hate speech, incitement, and terrorism offenses very seriously. So, when the court found him guilty, they didn't look at it like a political issue. They looked at it from a national security perspective. That's why even though Simon Ekpa claims to be a political activist, the court still said that some of his actions crossed the line. Now, what's interesting is that some Nigerians, especially those who have suffered from violence in the southeast, are actually happy about the judgment. They believe it's a warning to others who may want to use social media to promote hate or violence. But at the same time, many people are also calling for fairness, saying the court should have considered his right to free speech and activism. It's really a mix of emotions across Nigeria right now. You go online and see all kinds of comments. Some people are celebrating, others are mourning. It's a divided reaction. But one thing is clear, the issue of Biafra and the call for separation still remains one of the most emotional and sensitive topics in Nigeria. And let's be honest, this kind of case shows that the world is watching how Nigerians and the government handle internal issues. Because when international countries start commenting or getting involved, it shows that what happens here doesn't just stay here, it spreads globally. Please, my people, if you're still watching, I beg you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop your opinion in the comment section. Do you think the Finland government did the right thing by commending Nigeria? Or do you think they should have supported Simon Ekpa because he's their citizen? Let's talk about it. Because at the end of the day, this is not just about one man. It's about what message this whole issue sends to others who are abroad making statements about Nigeria. It's also about how we, as Nigerians, understand what activism really means. Activism is supposed to bring positive change, not fear, not pain, not confusion. Now, as I was saying, this Simon Ekpa case is not just a local issue anymore. It has become a global discussion. The fact that Finland commended Nigeria shows something important. It shows that countries are beginning to take a closer look at how social media is being used to spread political messages that can lead to violence or division. And for Nigeria, this is a big deal. Because for years, people have been saying the government should try to work more with foreign countries to handle those who use international platforms to spread harmful content about Nigeria. Let's think about it. Many of these online voices are far away, in countries where there's law and order, peace and stability. They can post or make live videos that tell people at home to take actions that can cause chaos. But the people who suffer are the ones on the ground in Nigeria, not those abroad. And that's one of the major points Finland was trying to make. Now, many Nigerians are saying this judgment might make other activists abroad more careful. Because even though freedom of speech is important, the moment that speech starts leading to loss of lives or destruction of property, it becomes another matter entirely. So, while Simon Ekpa might have thought he was exercising his rights, the authorities in Finland believed he crossed the line. But let's also look at the emotional side. The Biafra supporters, especially those who truly believe in the struggle, feel heartbroken. They see Simon Ekpa as someone who speaks for them, someone who gives them hope, even if they don't agree with all his methods. So for them, this judgment feels like another attack on their dream. You can't really ignore that feeling, because for many of them, the issue of Biafra is not just politics, it's personal. It's about identity, it's about history, and it's about how they feel they have been treated over the years. Please, my people, if you are still watching, don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Let's grow this community together. When you like and share, you help other Nigerians get informed and reason these things with understanding, not emotion. Now, let's look at the reactions. After the judgment came out, you could see different comments online. Some said, "Good, this will teach others to be careful." Others said, "Finland is being hypocritical because they support human rights, but now they are jailing someone for speaking his mind." Then you have others who are just confused, asking, why did Finland commend Nigeria? What exactly are they commending them for? Based on what I understand, Finland's commendation wasn't about celebrating someone's imprisonment. It was about recognizing Nigeria's effort to cooperate with international justice systems. They were basically saying, "We appreciate the Nigerian government for working with us on this case." And that's something that's not very common, because international cooperation between countries, especially on sensitive political cases, is usually very complicated. But this also brings up another interesting angle. What will happen to Simon Ekpa's movement now? Many of his followers used to look up to his broadcasts for guidance and instruction. With him now serving a sentence, will that movement continue with the same energy? Or will it start to fade gradually? These are the questions people are asking now. And as all these things are happening, you can see that there's also a larger conversation about the unity of Nigeria. Some people say this is the time for government to focus more on dialogue, to reach out to those who feel left behind, especially in the southeast. Because if you look closely, every agitation starts from a feeling of neglect or frustration. People just want to be heard. That's why I always say, when there's communication between the government and the people, things are easier to handle. But when people feel ignored, that's when they start listening to voices online that might mislead them. So, while we're talking about Simon Ekpa and his 6 years in prison, it's also time to talk about peace and understanding in the southeast. Because at the end of the day, if there's peace, business will grow, people will live better, and development will reach more areas. Please, my people, if you haven't liked this video yet, I beg, do it now. Just click that like button and subscribe too. When you do that, it helps more people get the real story. not rumors. Now, let's also talk about the government side. For the Nigerian government, this whole situation is like a small victory. They've been complaining for a long time about people outside the country using foreign media to attack Nigeria's image or cause problems internally. So when Finland took this step, it was like the international community is now recognizing that there's a limit to freedom of speech when it comes to national security. But we must still balance it. Because in a democratic country, free speech is also very important. What this case teaches us is that we need responsibility in how we use our words, especially those who have influence online. You can be an activist without calling for violence. You can fight for justice without making others suffer. And you can demand change without dividing your people.